and welcome to BQ Prime. I'm Hiral Dadia. Overall, if you see in terms of markets, a similar trend that we've been witnessing for a third consecutive session, where the markets are trading at the day's highest levels. 17,818 is where Nifty 50 is. And what does this actually mean with regards to where expiry goes is going to be crucial. And to understand more and what are the stocks you should be betting big on, we have Rajesh Palviya, Vice President, Technical and Derivative Research at Axis Securities, joining in. Welcome to the show, Ashish, and a very good welcome to the show, Rajesh. I beg your pardon, and a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hiral.
Rajesh, my first question coming to you is overall, this is the trend that we've seen in the last three sessions, where in the last hour of trade, where we see a good recovery that does come in. Currently as well, we are at nearly the day's highest levels in terms of Nifty. What are the key support and resistance levels we should be tracking from an expiry perspective?
So, if you analyze the overall setup for Nifty, Nifty is comfortably holding this 17,700, and now we are trading almost about 17,800 level. So, most of the call writers were aggressive at 17,800 for this series, and now they are covering their position as Nifty's crossed this 17,800 resistance mark. Looking at the today's data, we have witnessed that a lot of aggressive put writing is happening at 17,700 strike, even 17,750 strike, which clearly indicates that base is shifting higher. Both the indices are comfortably holding their short-term, medium-term moving averages. Sector large cap stocks are also participating in this rally. Market breadth has already also improved in last couple of trading sessions, which is clearly indicating that confidence is coming back to the street, and we believe that if Nifty continues to hold above the support area of 17,650 and 17,700, then possibly this really can scale up further towards the next resistance area of 18,000. So we believe that 18,000 could act as a resistance area for this rally, and on the lower side 17,650 is the important support area if any dips comes in the near term. So that's the immediate level on the lower side.
Now, with this, if you have to look at the India VIX, right, that has been well below that 12 mark. And if you talk about the put call ratio OI as well, that is around 1.12. Now, is this actually implying that this is expected to continue to be a range bound trade?
Yeah, definitely. VIX is continuously in lower trajectory, as we have seen that since last couple of weeks. VIX is in range of 13, and on the lower side we are seeing that 10 and a half is the lower band for this week. So especially in last 2 months, we are seeing that VIX is at the lower end. That's why the market is broadly consolidating in the range only. So we believe that yes, some more consolidation we can expect in the index going forward, but the bias is bullish because a lot of mid cap, small cap stocks also started participating. So maybe Nifty could remain in range with a positive bias, but stock specific action we can see in the market. So instead of focusing more on the index level, one can focus on the stocks and sector where we are seeing the clear breakout, where one can make good profitable trade in this current juncture. PCR is yes at 1.12. So as we are moving towards this expiry for this April series, so post rollover, yes, there could be some cool down effect in the PCR, and maybe post rollover we can have a PCR around 1. So because most of the positions are taking place for puts and calls for to play these expiry trades. So that positions will get expire on tomorrow's expiry, and then we can have a different view on the PCR. But as of now, yes, we believe that some supply pressure could be there on the higher side around 18,000.
Right. Now, moving on to in terms of Bank Nifty, Rajesh, clearly if you go to see, there is some momentum. There is good amount of open interest unwinding on the call side, which is seen specifically for a lot of PSU banks as well. From levels perspective, 42,500 to 43,000 kind of levels is what we're tracking in terms of Bank Nifty. What is the OI indicating in terms of range to you, number one? And number two, in terms of the PSU side of it as well. The PSU banks have making a strong move and they've closed above the 4,000 mark. a sustained closure about 4,000, where will it lead to? Because that's where then the momentum will be.
So definitely, rollover activity is taking place in the Bank Nifty. If we go with the fund data, Bank Nifty is showing, some bit of, short covering. Open interest is shaded by around, 14%. But if we look at the next month open interest, there is an addition, almost 36% addition in the open interest. Looks like that, most of the positions are, now rolling over to the next series. And overall setup is suggesting that, 42,800 is the immediate level where Bank Nifty is now trading, and call writers were aggressive for this strike. So they are covering their position. So we believe that towards expiry for this month, another round of short covering action can be there, and 43,000, 43,200 could be the next level for Bank Nifty in the continuation, or in the continuation of this rally. We believe that Bank Nifty structure is looking very attractive in this rally. Most of the PSU bank as well as private bank both have participated. But looking at the setup for the PSU bank, we believe that there is a lot of strength for stocks like SBI, Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda. These all large PSU banks are showing strength and are trading above their short-term, medium-term breakout level. So we believe that in this rally, PSU bank participation would be there, and we expect 43,500 to 44,000 target for the Bank Nifty going forward. On the lower side, one can keep their stop losses at around 42,000. So till we are holding above 42,000, there is a high possibility to move further higher towards 44,000 target also.
Right. Rajesh, another aspect I want to take up with you is with regards to the kind of FI activity we are seeing in the cash market as well as in the F&O market. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be seventh or the eighth consecutive session where we are seeing selling that's coming in from the FIIs. What is the F&O data on that front indicating? Is there some bit of cautiousness still prevailing because of this?
So yes, if we go with the FI activity, yes, they are seller. But still in the derivative front, we believe that it's a mixed behavior kind of activity we are witnessing on the derivative front. Looking at the overall setup, they are buying in the index since last couple of trading session. They are net positive for index buying, but yes, there is a mixed behavior in the options. So we believe that they are long for the index. So we believe that looking at the price action also, we believe that after rollover, yes, there would be some more clarity on the net position of FIS. But looking at the setup, we believe that some more buying interest could be there on the index front from FI and stock action. If we look at the stock action also, some buying action is happening since last 3-4 trading session on the stocks futures also. So major participation on the buying side from the FI, especially in last 3-4 trading session. And if this kind of flows comes from the FI front, so possibly this momentum can continue further higher towards 18,000 mark also. So as of now, there is no as such cautious approach from the FI front. We believe that this buying can continue further for next couple of trading sessions also.
Right. Rajesh, coming to stock specific action, you have a IPCA Laboratories, I beg your pardon, that has continued to bleed today. And clearly it's bears that are accumulating their position on this counter. And similar is the trend that we are seeing with the Crompton consumers as well. What should the strategy be with both these counters?
So both have stock have witnessed short built up, and technically there is a damage on the near term, short term as well as long term setup also. IPCA is continuously forming lower top, lower bottom formation. The kind of built up is there in the IPCA. We believe that some more pressure we can expect in the stock prices going forward. So until the stock not manages to cross above 740, 750 mark, maybe it can go down further towards 660, even 650 level on the downside. If we go with the Crompton setup, the stock is also witnessing lower top, lower bottom formation. It's a sixth consecutive month where stock is forming lower high, lower low formation, which clearly suggesting that there is a sustained selling pressure in the stock prices. Looking at the overall setup, looking at the short built up in this system, we believe that Crompton can continue further more downtrend from the current level also. 220, 210 could be the next target on the downside. Those who are already holding short position, they can trail their stop losses at around 275 or remain short in the stock. We believe furthermore, pressure we can expect in this stock prices going forward.
Right. Moving on, if you see in terms of other counters as well, let's take up a Gujarat-based company, which is Gujarat Narmada Fertilizers. That stock is seeing heavy long build-up in today's session, and this is following some changes in the policy by the Gujarat government on the back of dividend payments. What should the strategy be? Is this a good bet from a technical and a derivative perspective as well?
So technically, yes, stock managed to give breakout of its previous swing high, which was there in March, and stock is comfortably holding above those level. Stock is now trading above 50-day as well as 100-day moving average. In today's session, almost 11% open interest long built up was there. So looking at the near-term, short-term setup, even on the weekly chart, you can see that stock managed to give breakout of its falling channel. So breakout is clearly suggesting that this stock can continue further more momentum on the higher side. 620, 630 could be the near-term target. So those who are already holding, those who have bought this position, they can hold with stop loss of 570 for upside target of 620 to 630. So GNFC is looking attractive from the technical as well as from the derivative perspective also.
Right. Moving on to the banking counters, how are you looking at ICICI Bank? Because clearly there have been a lot of call buyers on this counter.
So very strong setup post earning stock is continuously holding the ground above 900 level. And looking at the near term, short term setup, stock is looking bullish. Long term setup is clearly in the bullish trajectory. So we believe that this stock can continue furthermore upside, and we are projecting target of 960 to 980 on the higher side. Those who wants to buy call option for May series, they can look at the strike of 940, which is trading at around 9 rupees. So one can go long in 940 call option also for May series, and we are projecting target of 18 rupees to 20 rupees. So that call option is currently trading at 9 rupees. One can keep stop loss of 5 rupees for upside target of 18 rupees to 20 rupees.
Right. Another stock from the banking space is a Kotak Mahindra Bank, Rajesh. Clearly, if you see the roll cost for this one, it's significantly higher versus the other F&O names as well. And the kind of gap the stock has created at lower levels, where do we see resistance number one on the upside? And what's the setup looking like for a Kotak Mahindra Bank from here on?
So as we look at the short-term setup, it's in consolidation still. If you go with the monthly setup for the stock is having multiple supply zone at around 1950, 1980 mark. Looking at the near-term to short-term setup, yes, some more consolidation we can expect in the stock prices until the stock not crosses above 1950. So broadly, we can see a sideways behavior, or we can say consolidation kind of activity in the prices. 1950 is the resistance area on the higher side, and on the lower side, the important support is 1855. So we expect this 100 rupees kind of range for Kotak Bank for some more couple of trading session. Once this range breakout happens, then only we can see a major move in the stock prices. So 1950 is the key resistance area, and 1850 is the immediate support area for Kotak Bank on the downside.
Right. Rajesh, apart from these names, any other counters that you think should be good plays from an expiry perspective as well, that an investor should look at from tomorrow opening?
So Tata Consumer is looking attractive. Stock has given a breakout on the daily as well as on the weekly chart. Stock has taken the support from its multiple support area of 700, and a strong buying action has been there. So looking at the setup, we believe that Tata Consumer can continue furthermore upside towards 780 to 790. One can hold their long position with stop loss of 715. Another stock which we like at the current juncture, that is ABB. ABB has shown very strong buying action in last two trading session, and towards this expiry, stock is now approaching towards its multiple resistance zone. And looking at the long built up, we believe that ABB can continue furthermore upside towards 3450, 3480. One can buy this stock also with stop loss of 3350. Another stock which we like, that is from automobile space, that is TVS Motor. After a corrective move, now this stock has shown buying interest since last three trading session, And looking at the overall setup, stock has taken the support from its 50-day moving average in this corrective move. In today's session, short covering was there. We believe that TVS Motor can continue furthermore upside towards this expiry. 1180 to 1200 could be the possible target in the short term. One can buy this stock with stop loss of 1090.
Right. So these are few names one should be watching out for as well. Thank you, Rajesh, so much for joining us on the show and sharing your views as well with regards to what needs to be done from expiry perspective and which stocks look attractive. Thank you and stay safe. But overall, if you see an interesting third day of trade that we've seen in terms of where markets are concerned, and we've nearly ended at the day's highest levels above the 17,800 mark. We've hit a high of 17,827 in intraday trade. And overall, if you see a range, it's been nearly 100 to 110 point range between the day's low and the day's highest levels. If you see Bank Nifty, that's been an interesting trade as well. In fact, Bank Nifty has ended as well near the day's highest levels as we speak. And clearly, if you see in terms of the advance decline ratio as well on Bank Nifty, was pretty much skewed towards the advances. 42,829 is where Bank Nifty has ended. In terms of individual stock specific action, if you see Power Grid, Tata Consumers, Nestle, IndusInd Bank, as well as SBI were the top gainers in today's day of trade. And it's the consumption pack which is showing some bit of strength basis on the results that have come in. On the losing end, you had a Hindalco, Adani Ports, Bajaj Auto, Bajaj Finserv, NTPC. In fact, Bajaj Auto, in spite of brokerages being positive with regards to the kind of tailwinds that are there for the company, the stock has seen some bit of profit booking in today's session. If you see in terms of the Sensex as well, 60,300 above that mark is where we've ended, almost 190 points gain coming in terms of the Sensex. And in terms of stock specific action, if you see majority of the gainers have been the PSUs that have been from Gujarat, so GSFC, GMTC, GNFC, GSFC. So few of the names that have seen smart gains in today's session, which are in the range of almost 10 to 20%. Gujarat Alkali up 15 to 16%. Astro Micro up around 11%. On the losing end, you did have stocks like MCX, which was down 6.5%. IPCA Laboratories continues the downward trend for a second consecutive session, as well as Manyavar was another one which was down in trade. So overall, a lot of stock-specific action is what we witnessed in today's day of trade, and the trend of that last hour recovery has continued for a third consecutive session. How the expiry will be is going to be interesting to wait and watch, but all the quotes do suggest that it is going to be a range-bound trade overall this time around. That's all that we have in this session. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.